How did a skill you were forced to learn as a kid end up changing everything? My dad signed me up for sign language classes when I was 8 because his best friend was deaf, and he thought it was important. I didn't think it was important. I thought Saturday mornings were for cartoons and cereal, not sitting in a community center learning how to spell words with my hands while everyone else was outside riding bikes. But my dad wasn't the kind of person you argued with. Not because he was scary, just because he had this way of looking at you that made you feel like you were already wrong before you even finished your sentence. So I did 2.5 years of it, every single Saturday morning. Learned the whole thing, got decent at it, passed the final assessment, and the day the program ended, I mentally filed it under things I will never use and moved on with my life completely. Fast forward to college. I'm sitting in a coffee shop working on a paper I should have started 3 days earlier when this girl sits down 2 tables over. She's with a friend, and they're signing to each other. Full speed, fluid, the kind of signing that looks like its own art form when you actually know what you're watching. I'm watching without trying to look like I'm watching, and then I catch something. The friend signs to her, "What about that guy?" and nods in my direction. She glances over at me, then signs back. He's cute, but he's definitely the type who peaked in high school. I almost choked on my coffee. I looked down, kept my face completely neutral, and pretended I was deeply focused on my laptop screen. But internally, I was fully locked in on this conversation now. The friend signs, "Just go talk to him." She signs back, "No way, look at his shoes." Those are divorced dad shoes. I was wearing Velcro sneakers I'd had since junior year. Fair point, honestly. They went back and forth for another 10 minutes. She said my posture was weird, that my laptop had too many stickers on it, that I was probably a finance major because I looked stressed and boring at the same time. Each one landed harder than the last. I wasn't even mad. She was genuinely funny. I was sitting there getting roasted in complete silence and honestly enjoying every second of it. Then the friend had to leave. She packed up her things, hugged her, and walked out the door. And now it was just the two of us in this coffee shop. I debated saying something for about 45 seconds. Then she looked up, caught me looking, and I panicked. I didn't plan it. I just signed. For the record, I'm a history major, not finance. Her face went through about 6 different expressions in under 2 seconds. She stared at me with her mouth slightly open, completely frozen, and then she signed back slowly. "How long have you understood?" I signed the whole time. She put both hands over her face and didn't move for a solid 8 seconds. When she finally looked up, she was bright red from her neck to her forehead. I signed. The shoes are vintage, by the way, not divorced dad energy. She started laughing so hard she knocked her drink off the table. I helped her clean it up, and we ended up sitting together for 3 hours. Her name was Renee. She'd been deaf since birth, and most hearing people she met either treated her differently or didn't bother trying to communicate at all. She told me I was the first hearing person who'd ever just signed back to her, like it was the most normal thing in the world. I told her about my dad and the Saturday classes, and how I'd spent over a decade thinking it was the most pointless skill I'd ever learned. She signed, "Your dad sounds like he knew something you didn't." We started dating 2 weeks after that. I brought her home to meet my dad on a Sunday afternoon. He opened the front door, looked at her, and without a single word, signed, "Nice to meet you. I've heard a lot about you." She looked at me, then back at him, and signed, "I heard about the Saturday classes. Thank you for making him do that." My dad just nodded once, the way he does when he's trying very hard not to get emotional in front of people. Then he turned to me and said out loud, "Told you it was important." I didn't argue. He was right. He'd been right the whole time.